staying out of judgment, not easy when you enjoy it as much as most of us do. Recognizing emotion in other people and then communicating that. Empathy is feeling with people. And to me, I always think of empathy as this kind of sacred space when someone's kind of in a deep hole and they shout out from the bottom and they say, I'm stuck, it's dark, I'm overwhelmed. And then you look and we say, hey, I'm down. I know what it's like down here. And you're not alone. Sympathy is, ooh, it's bad, no, you want a sandwich? Empathy is a choice, and it's a vulnerable choice, because in order to connect with you, I have to connect with something in myself that knows that feeling. Rarely, if ever, does an empathic response begin with at least. And we do it all the time, because you know what? Someone just shared something with us that's incredibly painful, and we're trying to silver lining it. I don't think that's a verb, but I'm using it as one. We're trying to put the silver lining around it. So, I had a miscarriage. At least you know you can get pregnant. I think my marriage is falling apart. At least you have a marriage. John's getting kicked out of school. At least Sarah is an A student. But one of the things we do sometimes in the face of very difficult conversations is we try to make things better. If I share something with you that's very difficult, I'd rather you say, I don't even know what to say right now, I'm just so glad you told me. Because the truth is, rarely can a response make something better. What makes something better is connection.
So empathy is a vessel that we have. It's an arc available to us that can help us navigate the difficulties we face in a world that can be consumed with dissension, with violence, in a world consumed with rancor and frustration in an election year. Made some of you uncomfortable. Empathy, and I know she was talking soon, quickly, but here's what she said. She said there's 4 characteristics of empathy. One is perspective taking. That means that you have the ability to take the perspective of the other person, to actually take it and be okay with their perspective, because it doesn't mean that you have to adopt it, but it means that you can take it and empathize with it, right? But in order to do that, you have to stay out of the place of judgment. And we love to judge. We just do. It's innate in who we are, but we have to stay out of judgment if we want to be empathetic. And we have to recognize the emotion in others and be able to communicate that emotion. Here's what that means. It means that when someone is in that place and they're in that vulnerable place and they say something to you and it's either very emotional in its communication to you, or it's right on the verge and you know that it's about to come out. Are you with me? You know they're right on the verge of that emotion being just bubbling up and being all over the place. It's not doing what I like. It's not doing what I'm in the habit of doing. Is trying to say, it's okay. God's got this. I love you. Pray. And there's nothing wrong with that, but what that does is that's not empathetic. Are you with me? Empathetic is acknowledging the emotion and entering into that emotion as best you can with them and communicating with them in an emotional way. Well, Jeremy, I'm not an emotional person. What are you talking about? I'm not talking about this overwhelming, oversaturated. I'm talking about creating space for the way people feel and that you allow that feeling to be reciprocated to the best of your ability. Empathy is an arc. Empathy is a vessel we have to chart our way through the rancor and the violence and the frustration of our day. I think that's part of what's in the story. The second arc that we have to really be serious about is that of compassion. Compassion is what we do because of empathy. It means simply to suffer with, to go, to be, and to incarnate love, to embody love. That's what compassion means. I would say it this way: it means to follow Jesus into the world in ways